of time. Sorry, there was a stall there for whatever reason. But moving on, you guys have learned a lot in a short period of time, and I'm hoping you guys are grasping the concepts behind each tool that you guys are working with. Please make sure that you are taking notes. Today, you guys are going to do a short little assignment that's leading into your currency. I want you guys to understand how complex your designs can become if you learn how to work Illustrator. So today you guys are going to create a pattern called Guilloche. And it's used in various entities as far as banknotes, ID cards, passports, etc. for not only for the design purposes, but also for security purposes. So to begin, you guys are going to do a lot of background stuff to set up the actual document so that it works well and in proportion so that it becomes easy to work with. So the first thing that you guys are going to do, File, New. Today you guys are going to be working with pixels instead of inches. And right now you can just name this Guilloche. And one artboard is all you need. It's a customized artboard, so you don't have to do size here. But you do want to change your units to pixels. Usually we work in inches, but today we're working in pixels. You're going to create a document that's 800 pixels in width and in height. And it doesn't matter whether it's landscape or portrait because it's proportionate. And then press OK. And you'll end up with a square artboard. The next thing you guys are going to do is make sure that your grid is set up in the right divisions. So if you go to Illustrator, Preferences, look at Units, which should be reading pixels, so make sure that's correct. You can press OK, or you can press Next. I just like to get out and come back, but Guides and Grids are the next thing that's in that particular window. So in our Guides and Grids, a couple of things that you guys are going to change. You got to make sure that where it says grid line every, that it's 100 pixels. And your subdivisions are 10. And you can keep grids in back. Select it. And then you press OK. You don't see anything yet because you don't have your grid up. In order to see your grid, you're going to go to View and Show Grid. And if you notice, the artboard lines up with the grid. The next thing you guys want to set up in order for everything to kind of snap to the grid, you're going to go to View and you're going to make sure that Snap to Grid is on. Okay? Don't forget, if I'm going too fast, please rewind me. Alright, now that we have the snap to grid, we're going to begin by drawing an oval. But before we draw an oval, there are some presets. This is our ellipse tool that we're going to be using here. You want to change your stroke to 0.25. Then you want to make sure that you have gray instead of black. It's going to be 80%. I'm just going to use my slider here, 80%. And you also want none for the fill. So 2.5 points for the stroke, oval tool, no fill, and an 80% gray. Alright, So then the next step you guys are going to do is you're going to draw an oval that's 80 pixels in width and 200 pixels in height. So click once. If you notice, I have my 80 for the width and 200 for the height. I press OK. Then I'm going to move my oval to the very top center of the artboard. If you notice, it's kind of snapping to the grid. Okay. Did everybody get that? When you're trying to create a shape, you just simply click once in order to enter specific numbers for your object. Okay, next. Now we're going to indicate where the center of our document is. And it's easy to do. Go to Window, go to View, Rulers, Show Rulers. If you notice you have rulers at the top and on the left side, and you simply click in the ruler, you drag. If you notice, everything's pretty symmetrical here, and you'll get a guideline. Then your vertical, and you get a guideline. And that's just so that you can know where the center of your document is. You can also hide these grids at any point that something is getting hidden behind your guides, and that's simply by going to Command and semicolon. So you hide and you bring them back up. Okay. So next we're going to create a cross to indicate the center of our document. I'm just going to simply do that with the line segment tool. And just click, hold, and drag. Make sure you hold your shift key so that it's straight. If you can't see it, don't forget Command, and you're going to press the semicolon to get rid of your guides. They're still there, they're just hidden. Alright, so we have a cross here, and that was simply using a line segment tool to draw a vertical and a horizontal line. Next, you're going to select your oval, and you're simply going to copy this oval. And since it's selected and it has no fill, when something has no fill, notice that I'm clicking in the center, nothing's happening. That's because I'm seeing straight through it as if it was a loop. So you want to make sure you click on the object. So if you notice, your cursor changes when you select your object. You drag your cursor over your object, hold down your Option key. I call this cloning, not copying and pasting. So anytime I ask you to clone something, I'm asking you to use the Option key to see the double arrows. You click, you hold, you drag. Now while you're dragging, notice that things move around, but you want to go straight up and down here. So you want to hold down your Shift key so that it stays on the axis here. You let go of your mouse first, and then you let go of your key. So now we have two ovals, and you guys have done the transform again step before, and so this is just reiterating what you can do. The next thing you guys are going to do is marquee everything, and you're going to group everything, object and group. Notice the shortcut is Command G. Now with everything selected, you're going to rotate all of this 2 degrees. And in order to do that, you're going to double click on your rotate tool in your toolbar. Make sure the angle is at 2 degrees. And you can preview it. If you notice, you'll see a slight angle here. But you always want to make sure you want to click copy and not OK. If you click OK, it simply rotates your original object, but you want to copy. Okay, so you press copy. So now you have two. So I guess you guessed what the next step is. And you simply press Command D for transform again until you go all the way around for 360 degrees. And you can hold it with the keys down. Test, you may want to slow down when you get to this point. I think that's it. Just deselect, and then you see your design here. The next step you guys are going to do, if you notice, it still looks a little mundane and everything looks too symmetrical. So I want to kind of vary it a little bit to give yourself a little more variety, or even excitement if you want to use that word. So what you'll have to do is, with your zoom tool here, mark here, right here at the very top, because this is where we're starting. You're going to get rid of the very first set of loops that you made, and you're going to press delete. Now if you notice, the loop is just gone because it doubled when you did the 360, and that's fine. So now back to the actual original, you're going to delete it, and you're deleting two. Actually, let me step back one. Let's get rid of the cross here first. You're going to go to the lasso tool here and select all of these in the middle, and then press delete. Now zoom in, and I'm going to get rid of the very first one. If you notice, it's on that axis right there. If I bring back my guides, you can see that it's on that the axis when we first drew. All right, press delete. Now your next thing is going to take a little patience, but now what you're going to do is that you're going to skip every 6 ovals, and then you're going to delete the 7th one. So you'll count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Delete the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and delete. And when you're done, you're going to end up with this. Going to hide, and if you notice, there's a little variety in here. So this is your first step for creating your design, the guilloche, and so we'll go from here. This is part 1.